Hello students, myself is Amrita Radhav ma'am and I am here to teach you physics, right? So before moving towards the physics, I just wanted to tell you that we have recently covered chapter number 1, which is from part 1 of physics, which was measurements and units. We have discussed all the points and all the concepts which are there inside the first chapter, and even we have done numericals which is based on that, and after that we have discussed about the exercise which is there inside your textbook, right? So in same way, in same manner, we are going to move forward to the chapter number 2 of part 1 of physics, which is mathematical methods. Okay, so as you all know that before moving towards that, I just wanted to let you know that what part of this has been reduced due to this pandemic situation. So I wanted to let you know that only one point which is there, which is being omitted from this chapter, it is nothing but calculus. Okay, so which was the last part of this chapter, in which you are going to study about the differentiation and integration part, which is already there inside mathematics. Okay, so we are not going to deal with that because that part has been reduced for this academic year, which is 2020 and 2021. So we are not going to do that. So let's move forward towards what we are going to do in this chapter. Okay, so let me introduce first what is chapter number 2, mathematical methods. As you can see, name moving up, mathematical methods. So we are going to deal about methods which is there inside mathematics. Why mathematics is there inside physics? Because you can usually observe that while we are studying about physics, in the first chapter we have studied that physics basically depending on qualitative as well as quantitative study, right? So we have to do some calculations, we have to do some measurements, we have to denote some quantity by a reference, which is nothing but unit, right? So this all comes to a conclusion that physics and mathematics go parallel with each other, right? Many concepts which are there inside maths are applied in physics. You will come to know that while we are deriving some things, we have to put some formulas inside that, and that formulas has been arrived from maths. So this is nothing but mathematical methods. That's why we are going to deal with this chapter. Okay, so in this chapter, what points are there? What points are we are going to cover? As these are the methods which we are going to deal. Before moving towards that methods, to what we are going to apply. So there are some physical quantities inside it. First one is scalar and second one is vectors. So these two quantities are different from each other, as you all studied about this. So let's revise. What is nothing but scalars and vectors? So that methods will depending on scalars and vectors. Okay, so that is we are going to deal. What are the methods? Multiplication, addition, subtraction, how we can add the vectors, how we can multiply the vector, how we can divide. Not we are going to discuss about division, we are just going to discuss about addition, subtraction and multiplication, about scalars as well as about vectors. So this chapter deals with the mathematical method which is applied to two quantities. First is scalars and second one is vector. Okay, so let's move forward for the first one. As we have discussed about introduction part about this chapter, let me tell you about two physical quantity. Right now we have discussed, that was scalar and vector. So you must have heard about this. What is scalar and what is vector? We have already studied this term. Scalars are the physical quantity which only requires magnitude. It doesn't require direction. And another term which is vector, in which you can say that vectors are the physical quantity to which magnitude as well as direction is required. So this is nothing but the basic difference between scalar and vector. What I told you, scalar quantities in which magnitude, only magnitude is required. Direction is not required. Direction is not required. But in vectors, magnitude as well as direction both are required. Okay, let's take some examples so that you will exactly come to know what is scalars and what is vectors. Okay, I will tell you some examples and we are going to distinguish which are the physical quantity are scalar and which physical quantity is a vector. So we are going to distinguish between both of them. Okay, so I will write some physical quantities over here. First is distance, second is velocity, third is acceleration, next is force, time, temperature. Now we are going to distinguish this physical quantities into either scalar or vector. We are going to see that. First quantity is distance. Distance is nothing but the measurement between the two points, right? So if I say this is the distance between two hands is about 30 centimeters. If I say this, okay, so does it require some direction? Do I have to say that this direction or distance from left hand to right hand is 30 and distance from right hand to left hand is 40? Is it possible? No. So this is fixed and it only required the magnitude, that means number. So it doesn't require direction. So it comes under scalar term, right? So let's take the second one, velocity. What is velocity? It is distance upon time. Alright. So does velocity is scalar or vector? Can you recognize this physical quantity? Velocity is nothing but a vector quantity. Okay. Next one, acceleration. Acceleration is change in velocity upon time. Velocity is vector quantity. Sorry, acceleration is vector quantity. Then force. Force is nothing but mass into acceleration. We have to push something, then we have to know the direction where I have to push that object, right? If I wanted to move this board to make a proper arrangement of video, so what I have to do is I have to know the direction, in which direction I have to move this board so that I can get the perfect resolution of the video. I can get the perfect video, right? So for this, what is necessary for force? Force, that means we are pushing something, right? So for this vector quantity, this is nothing but a vector quantity because we have to know the direction for the same, right? Then time. Does time require direction or and as well as magnitude? No. Time right now timing is suppose 6. At your place it also 6 at this time, right? So time will not change according to direction. At west it is not 6. At east it is 7. It is not possible. So time is only magnitude. It requires only magnitude. So time is also a scalar quantity. It doesn't require direction. So it is not a vector. Last one, temperature. Same, if I am in this room and the temperature of this room is suppose 20 degrees Celsius. So if I move in east direction or west direction, does the temperature changes if I move the direction or if I change the direction? No, it will not change according to direction. Temperature is same in this room. It will not change with respect to the direction. So even this is scalar quantity. So I hope you exactly come to know the exact concept behind scalars and vectors. Again I will tell you, what are scalars? It requires only magnitude, that means only number, right? Like time 6 p.m, temperature 20 degrees Celsius, it doesn't require any kind of direction to it. And vector quantities, these are the quantity which requires magnitude as well as direction. Okay, so in this chapter, in this particular part, we are going to more discuss about vector quantities, not about the scalar. We are going to just stay apart from the scalar right now. We are just focusing on vector quantities. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know some more facts about vectors. So let's move towards that. will just write vector over here, right? First, the basic thing which we have already discussed, magnitude and direction. Now, how can it be written? Okay, suppose I am saying P is a vector quantity. Suppose I am saying P is something which is a vector quantity. So, in physics, we have to put an arrow on his head here, which gives you idea about the direction. So, this gives you vector quantity. If I am saying Q is another vector quantity, so I have to put a bar or arrow on his head, so that it will give you the idea that these physical terms are nothing but vector quantities. If you did not put an arrow on its head, so it will not give you the vector quantity. It will tell you more about the scalar one. Okay, so if you are saying about any vector quantity in vector forms, you have to put a bar or arrow on his head. Suppose as we have discussed about force, right? So force is nothing but a vector quantity. So this has to be written like this. If we are dealing with the vector concept, then only you have to put an arrow on it. Okay. Suppose I am saying a particle is displacing from one point to another. Suppose this point is P and this point is Q. It is displacing from P to Q. I want a fixed point over here. Q is here only. So I have to know the direction of the same if it is displacing. Alright. So P to Q, it is moving, right? So that PQ will be nothing but vector term. Or I can say AB if this will confuse you. So I will just write AB. First point is N, last point, destination point is B. So you can write this as AB bar. Now, anything which is about vectors that you just come to know, you have just come across, like it has direction, right? So how can we find out only number of the vector term? Suppose I am saying 3 J bar, 3 I bar, you will come to know exactly what I am talking about. So vector quantity should have a fixed number also, right? To find out the number, only magnitude for this vector terms, we have to find out the magnitude of any vector quantity as. Suppose I wanted to find out for F bar. So magnitude of F bar is nothing but, it can be written in this way. Magnitude of F bar is equal to mod of F bar. This we are going to deal in next part. We are just dealing with the basic part of it. Okay. So after calculating this, you will get only number, that is magnitude 1. Okay. So this is all about the vectors. I hope you come to know the exact idea about vectors. Now, as I told you that in this particular part, we are dealing more about vector quantities, right? So we are going to see what are the types of vector which are exist. Okay, so we are going to deal with the types of vectors. So let's see what are the types of, which are the types of vectors. Types of vectors. So there are almost 6 types of vectors. Okay. So which are them? Let's see. One by one we are going to deal with them. These are the types of vectors. You can see over here. Unit vector, equal vector, zero vector, negative vector, resultant vector and position vector. Okay, so we are going to discuss all of them one by one. Okay, so first one is, we are going to take first one as, let us take some simple one, then we will move towards the complicated. Okay, so first we'll take equal vector. So basically, according to the definition, or you can see, equal is the thing which is written over here. So I will just rewrite this. Equal vectors. So equal vectors are the two vectors which are having same magnitude and same directions. Two vectors or three vectors. The vectors which you are going to consider, if they are having same magnitude and same direction, then they are said to be equal vectors. Okay. Again I will tell you the definition of equal vectors. Two or more vectors which are having same magnitude and same direction, both should be same, then only you can say that vectors are equal vectors. Okay, so this has been explained. Now we'll move towards the second one, which is zero vector. Now what is zero vector? The vector which is having zero magnitude is called as zero vector. Vector which is having zero magnitude. Now question may arise in your mind that which vector can have zero magnitude? If it is having zero magnitude, then why should we study about that? So I just wanted to tell you, if I am standing here, I am not moving anywhere, so velocity of mine will be zero. So velocity vector of myself will be zero. So the velocity vector will be a zero vector for mine. Okay, so this is all about the zero vector. Even if any object is moving with constant velocity, then acceleration will be zero. So acceleration vector for uniform velocity will be a zero vector. So this is nothing but the zero vector. I hope you come to know the idea about it. Okay, so let's move towards the third one, which is unit vector or negative. We'll take negative vector. Negative. What came in your mind if you are reading negative vector? It should have same magnitude and different direction, opposite direction, not different. Okay, so negative vectors are those vectors which are having same magnitude but opposite direction. Opposite is most important word. Okay, negative vectors are the vectors which are having same magnitude but opposite directions. So these are known as negative vector. If P is coming from this side and Q is coming from this side, P is having velocity 2 meter per second and Q is having velocity 2 meter per second, but both are in opposite direction. So that will be negative vector. Okay, next one, which is fourth one, unit vector. Unit vector is nothing but which gives you idea about the magnitude. It should be unit. One should be the magnitude. While we are studying about vectors, we have to know the unit or unit vector. How we can calculate that? As we said that vectors should require direction, right? So any vector, if we are considering any kind of vector, it may have direction in any direction. It may be along x-axis, it may be along y-axis, it may be along z-axis. Along any axis, that vector can have the direction, right? So if we consider all the three axis coordinate system, so any vector can be written in three axes, three coordinates. So how can be written that? I'll just tell you that any vector can be written in three coordinate system. Like suppose I am saying vector quantity of x bar, so that has to be written in terms of x axis, y axis as well as z axis. So that has to be written like fx, which is along x axis, that has to be multiplied by a direction, right? Direction should be required. So I cap is nothing but a unit vector which gives you idea about the x axis. Next, fy j cap plus fz k cap. Any vector can be written in terms of this. This is actually the concept is known as resolution of vectors. Any vector is resolved into three components. Fx, right here we are discussing f, so I am saying fx, fy, fz. X coordinate should be multiplied by I, y coordinate should be multiplied by j, and z coordinate should be multiplied by k. It is fixed. You cannot change that. Okay, so you are not going to change this. It is fixed and it will remain fixed. Alright, so this is nothing but resolution of vector, and this I, j and k are nothing but unit vectors which is having actually value 1, but they exist and having value 1. As you all know that if you are multiplying any number by 1, the answer will be the same quantity. It will not change. Here we are going to apply the same. We have applied the same. Okay, so I, j, k are nothing but the unit vectors. Okay. So next term which we are going to see is this resultant vector. Now what is resultant vector? We will discuss this. Okay, so resultant vector is the single vector which gives you idea about two or more vectors. Okay, I will explain. Suppose A and B are two vectors, they are giving some result to us, A and B. Okay, so a single vector, suppose C, as we have discussed about A and B, right? So C is the third vector which is nothing but resultant vector and which gives you the same effect as been created by A and B. I will again explain. If I am saying A is giving some vector quantity and B is giving another vector quantity, so these both are different, A and B, right? So C is the next vector which gives you the same effect, only one vector which gives you the same effect as that of the two or more vectors. Single vector which gives you same effect has been created by two or more vectors. So this is resultant vectors. Next, position vector. As the word itself says, it gives you position vectors are the vectors which gives you the position of any vector with respect to the coordinates x, y and z. If it gives you the position of any vector, it will be a position. It should be with respect to the coordinate system x, y and z. Okay, so this is all about the types of vectors. What types we have discussed? Unit vector, this, equal vector, zero vector, negative vector, resultant vector and position vector. Okay. While we are studying about zero, this is also known as null vector because it is zero, having zero magnitude. So it is also known as zero vector. If questions are asked like what is null vector, so don't be confused. It is nothing but a zero vector. Okay. So this is all about the types of vectors. And even we have discussed about the scalar also in very short term, and we have discussed the introductory part of this chapter, and I told you about the syllabus reduction of this chapter. What was deleted part? Calculus is the part which has been deleted, so we are not going to deal with that. Okay, so this is all about this part. Now what about the next part? What we are going to deal in the next lecture? So in next lecture we are going to deal with the methods, which is mathematical methods, which is for vectors. How the vectors can be added, how the vectors can be subtracted, how the vectors can be multiplied. These all terms we are going to discuss. Some laws should be applied to this because it requires a direction, right? So some laws are there that we have to apply to the vectors, and that all laws we are going to discuss in the next part. So this is all about the first part, which is introductory part and part 1 of mathematical methods. Okay, so if you have any kind of query regarding this, please do comment. I will definitely solve your query. Thank you so much.